All right. Welcome back to the channel. Dillian Deanna Whyte is up to it again, man. This guy is storyteller number one, has nerve to say that he's going to expose Deontay Wilder by releasing information from the WBC. Now, I find that really, really funny. He did this in response to Deontay Wilder calling Dillian Whyte a pathological liar and saying how Dillian Whyte had multiple opportunities to fight him and to become a mandatory earlier than he would have been a mandatory. But Dillian Whyte says that's not true, and he has documents from the WBC to back it up. Unfortunately for Dillian Whyte, everybody on the planet has Google, and we can see what happened. But let's go over that in this video. All right. Dillian the dope fiend doing dope who don't know the meaning of water nor soap. Dillian Deanna Whyte is out here saying he's going to expose Deontay Wilder with papers from the WBC that is going to say this, that the WBC was the reason that Dillian Whyte did not fight Dominic Breazeale, because they pulled the mandatory fight away from Dillian Whyte and then made Deontay Wilder fight Dominic Breazeale. And that's going to show that Deontay Wilder is a liar by saying that he ducked out of a fight with Dominic Breazeale that would have made him a mandatory. Here's the problem. Dillian Whyte can show paperwork, and I have no doubt that Deontay Wilder, the Dominic Breazeale, was ordered to fight Deontay Wilder, and as a result, the fight that was mandated by Dillian Whyte and Dominic Breazeale, that fight that was mandatory, was no longer mandatory. That he went on ahead, the WBC went on ahead and ordered the fight with Dominic Breazeale. That is the truth. I know that to be the case because I remember that being the case. But what Dillian Whyte is doing, and this is why the dude is what you call a pathological liar, is he's leaving out an important part of this. That Dillian Whyte was offered a fight by Dominic Breazeale in 2018. Okay? 2018. In fact, let's go to the GiveMeSport.com article that is from the 8th month, the 25th day of 2018. Dominic Breazeale calls out Dillian Whyte for future fight. And this is what Dominic Breazeale said. I thought the Dillian Whyte fight myself was actually going to happen this year. He is bound with the situation with the WBC and his silver belt, and I have the WBC mandatory. I only thought it was right for him and myself to get in the ring and square it off, as the fans would love to see. So hopefully this fight does come here in the near future. It's definitely up to Dillian Whyte, but I'm a fan pleaser, and if the fans want to see it, then I'm going to be the guy to give it. Okay, that right there was in July. That was in August of 2018. The fight between Dillian Whyte and Dominic Breazeale was actually ordered by the WBC in February of 2019. So that is 6 months after Dillian Whyte, Dominic Breazeale said, "Hey, I'm the mandatory. You're the WBC's champion, WBC silver champion. Let's fight." If Dominic Breazeale, if Dillian Whyte had agreed to fight Dominic Breazeale, then Dominic Breazeale would not have been the mandatory anymore. Dillian Whyte would have been in the position to be the mandatory, but he chose not to take that fight. That is what Deontay Wilder is referring to. Deontay was not talking about the order that came from the WBC in February of 2019. Now, the WBC did actually order that fight in February of 2019, but what happened was Tyson Fury pulled out of the rematch between Deontay Wilder and between he and Deontay Wilder. That's the reason why Dominic Breazeale was not ordered earlier, because the WBC had mandated that Deontay Wilder have a rematch with Tyson Fury. And when Tyson Fury pulled out of that fight, they said, the WBC said, let's just go ahead and have the Deontay Wilder Dominic Breazeale fight, get that out of the way, because that can satisfy his mandatory challenge. Now, that, my friend, in February could have been Dillian Whyte. If Dillian Whyte had fought Dominic Breazeale when he was called out by Dominic Breazeale, when Dominic Breazeale offered the fight to him. So Dillian the liar, the pathological liar, can definitely show paperwork where the WBC said, hey, nope, we're not going to do the Dominic Breazeale versus Dillian Whyte fight anymore. We're not going to do that because we're just going to go ahead and have Deontay Wilder and Dillian and his satisfy his mandatory challenge, which was currently then with Dominic Breazeale. So, do you see how Deontay Wilder could be telling the truth about Dillian Whyte having had the opportunity to fight Dominic Breazeale to become the mandatory? At the same time, Dillian Whyte's paperwork for a subsequent order from the WBC could show that the WBC cut that fight off. But Dillian Whyte never agreed to the fight with Dominic Breazeale in the first instance, which was in August of 2018, and he didn't agree to it, in February of 2019. So you're not going to expose Deontay Wilder that way. And even if that wasn't true, the only person that he would be exposing is the WBC. He wouldn't be exposing Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder saying that the dude is a pathological liar just because you could show in the off chance, and he can't do it. But even if he could show that Dominic Breazeale didn't call him out in 2018, and that the only time that Dominic Breazeale, and the only time that fight was offered to him was in 2019, he can't overcome the fact that Dillian Whyte lied about Deontay Wilder laying on the ground twitching when he got knocked out, because that's another lie. Okay. And you can't get over the fact that you tested positive for performance enhancing drugs 2 times, and you got into the ring with with gloves that had not been approved by Oscar Rivas. So, Dillian Whyte talking about how he's going to expose somebody for something that everybody knows. But I don't doubt this. I don't doubt there's a significant possibility that Dillian Whyte is just confused, or that he's more than willing just to muddy the waters and have people have to go through, well, who said what and when did they say that? Because it's not an easy thing to explain, right? Dillian, back in August of 2018, Dominic Breazeale said, hey, I'm the mandatory. You're the WBC silver champion. Let's fight. Dillian Whyte did not accept that challenge. Time went on. The WBC let Deontay Wilder fight Tyson Fury, and the fight was close. It was controversial or whatever. They order a rematch. The WBC ordered a rematch from Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So what did the WBC then do? They said, hey, let's do what Dominic Breazeale had already offered. Let's have you, Dominic Breazeale, and you, Dillian Whyte, fight each other, and whoever wins can be the mandatory. But after that happened, after that order was made, Tyson Fury pulled out of the fight. So the WBC went back to their plan A. Deontay, defend your title against your mandatory. But in no scenario is that actually exposing Deontay Wilder. That is just telling you what the WBC did. And last I checked, Deontay Wilder is not the WBC. He is not Mauricio Sulaiman in the board of directors for the WBC. Is he? So how are you exposing him? But I say this is just, even him saying that is just another example of him being a liar. Because he is saying that I can prove that the WBC kept me from doing it. No, you can't, because you didn't accept it in 2018. You're talking about in 2019. He turned down that fight on multiple occasions. And here, it's the same thing also with Luis Ortiz. Deontay Wilder said, hey, Dillian, if you fight Luis Ortiz and beat Luis Ortiz, then I'll fight you as a voluntary. Just beat Luis Ortiz. Dillian Whyte said, no, I'm not going to be fighting Luis Ortiz. Then the WBC ordered Dillian Whyte to fight Luis Ortiz, and they turned that down too. In both incidents, and what wound up happening to both of the guys that Dillian Whyte would not fight? They went on to fight Deontay Wilder. It could have been every one of those fights that took place between Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, and Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale could have been Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte if Dillian Whyte had done it. But Dillian Whyte decided not to. And then he just comes with another lie. I've been mandatory for 600 days. Dude, right there is an example of Dillian Whyte proving that he himself is a liar. Because if the WBC pulled Dominic Breazeale out of a fight with a fight with him to fight Deontay Wilder, that means that the WBC mandated Deontay Wilder fight Dominic Breazeale, right? So if that happened on his paperwork in February of 2019, February of 2019 is not 600 days ago. So you couldn't have been the mandatory for 600 days. So the paperwork that you're saying is going to prove that you're not a liar is just proving that you're a liar. Dude, he's pathological with it, man. Anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.